The washing machine was making that god-awful grinding noise again when I found it. 3 in the morning, me elbow-deep in soap scum and lint, wondering why I bothered fixing anything in this house anymore. That's when my daughter Kayla stormed through the laundry room, dropping her designer bag like it was radioactive. "Mom says she's out with a client," she muttered, not even looking at me. Yeah, right. I'd have laughed if it wasn't so pathetic. Anna hadn't sold a house in 3 months, but somehow she was always showing properties until midnight. I wiped my hands on my jeans and reached for Kayla's bag to move it out of my way. That's when I felt it, the hard, rectangular shape wrapped in her gym towel. A second phone, pink case, rhinestone heart. Very Anna. My wife of 18 years had a burner phone hidden in our daughter's laundry. I should have been shocked. Instead, I felt that familiar twist in my gut that said I'd been an idiot for longer than I cared to admit. The phone lit up with a text. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." Room 237 again? E for Ethan. I'd bet my last beer. Ethan Morrison, the pretty boy personal trainer at Anna's gym, the one she'd been raving about for months. "He's helping me get back in shape, David. You should try it sometime." Translation: "While you're fixing our broken house, I'm breaking our marriage." I scrolled through the messages, each one a punch to the gut. Photos from motel rooms, plans for weekend getaways. And the real kicker, a group chat with Anna's best friend Jenna Walsh, the yoga studio owner, who'd always looked at me like I was something she'd scrape off her shoe. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, and tell me in the comments what city you're watching from. "Anna's getting bold," Jenna had written. "Think David suspects?" "Please," Anna replied. "He's too busy playing handyman to notice anything. I could bring Ethan home for dinner, and David would probably offer to fix his car." "How much longer are you going to string him along?" "Until I figure out the finances. David's business is finally picking up. I'm not walking away from 18 years of investment to start over." Investment. That's what I was, a portfolio to be managed. I took photos of everything with my own phone, then carefully wrapped the burner back in the towel. The washing machine could wait. I had some thinking to do. The next morning, Anna came home at 6:30, hair perfect, makeup fresh. She kissed my cheek like she'd been at the office all night instead of playing mattress gymnastics with her trainer. "How was your evening?" I asked, not looking up from my coffee. "Exhausting. The Henderson property is being difficult. You know how demanding clients can be." I nodded sympathetically. "Must be hard work, all those late nights." She studied my face for a moment, then shrugged. "Someone has to pay the bills around here." That stung, but I kept my expression neutral. Anna had always been good at the little cuts, the casual cruelties that reminded me I was just the hired help in my own life. But now I knew why she'd gotten so much better at it lately. She'd been practicing. After she went upstairs for her power nap, I made a decision. I was going to follow her tonight, see this investment strategy in action. Anna left at 7, claiming another client emergency. I gave her a 10-minute head start, then climbed into my pickup. The Riverside Motel was exactly where I thought it would be, cheap, discreet, and cash-friendly. Anna's BMW was parked next to a red Tesla that screamed midlife crisis. I pulled into the diner across the street and waited. An hour later, they emerged from room 237. Anna looked relaxed, satisfied. Ethan looked like he'd just won the lottery. They kissed goodbye. Not a quick peck, but a full romantic movie kiss that made my stomach churn. As they separated, Ethan's Tesla wouldn't start. Drained battery from the sound of it. Anna tried to help, but her BMW was too low to jump-start the sports car. They were arguing about calling AAA when I made my move. I drove across the street and pulled up behind them. "Need some help?" Anna's face went white. Ethan looked confused, then nervous as Anna introduced me as her husband. "David, what are you doing here?" "Grabbing dinner," I said, nodding toward the diner. "Saw you having car trouble." Lucky coincidence. I helped jumpstart the Tesla, making small talk with Ethan while Anna stood frozen. He was younger than I'd expected, maybe 35, with the kind of gym-sculpted body that required more maintenance than my truck. His handshake was firm, but his eyes kept darting to Anna like he was waiting for instructions. "Thanks, man," he said when his car roared to life. "I owe you one." "Don't mention it," I replied. "I'm sure Anna will find a way for you to repay the favor." The double meaning sailed right over his pretty head, but Anna caught it. Her eyes narrowed as Ethan drove away. "That was awkward," she said. "Was it?" "Seemed normal to me. Just helping out one of your clients." "He's not a client. He's my trainer." "Right. The one who trains you so late at night." We stared at each other across the motel parking lot. Anna was calculating, trying to figure out how much I knew. I was calculating too, wondering how long I'd been married to a stranger. "We should go home," she said finally. "Good idea. Kayla's probably wondering where we are." That night, after Anna fell asleep, I went back to the motel. Ethan's Tesla was in the parking lot again, but this time he was alone, probably waiting for his next client. I pulled out my pocket knife and gave all 4 tires a deep, satisfying slash. Then I left a note under his windshield wiper. "Charge this asshole." It felt good, better than I'd felt in months. I was walking back to my truck when my phone buzzed. A text from our neighbor, Mrs. Patterson. "Saw you at the motel tonight." "Everything okay?" Nosy old bat had probably been watching through her curtains with binoculars. I typed back, "Just helping a friend with car trouble." But I knew she wasn't buying it. Mrs. Patterson lived for drama, and she'd just hit the gossip jackpot. Sure enough, Anna confronted me the next morning. "Betty Patterson says you were prowling around some motel last night." "Prowling?" I helped jump a car and went home. "Since when is that prowling?" "She said you went back later." Betty Patterson needs a hobby that doesn't involve spying on her neighbors. Anna stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "If you ever touch my car or my friends again, you'll regret it." Friends, plural. So she knew I knew about Ethan, and she was doubling down instead of backing off. She'd made a bet that I wouldn't leave, that I'd just take whatever she dished out because I was too weak or too stupid to fight back. I smiled at her. "Is that a threat, Anna?" "It's a promise." She walked away, hips swaying in that way that used to drive me crazy. Now, it just made me angry. She thought she was playing chess while I was playing checkers. What she didn't realize was that I'd just decided to flip the board. Anna got bolder after our little parking lot confrontation. She started forgetting to come home until dawn, claiming she was staying at Jenna's yoga studio to work on herself. She'd waltz in smelling like expensive cologne and other men's sweat, daring me to say something. I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I watched her destroy my business from the inside out. Anna had always been my unofficial marketing department, chatting up potential clients at her real estate events, passing out my cards to homeowners who needed renovation work. But now those referrals dried up. Worse, clients I'd already booked started canceling. "Sorry, David," said Mrs. Henderson, the same client Anna had supposedly been helping the night I caught her at the motel. "We've decided to go with someone else." Someone else turned out to be Morrison Construction, Ethan's side business. Apparently, personal training wasn't his only skill set. Anna was feeding him my client list and my pricing, then undercutting me just enough to steal the jobs. The final insult came when Kayla posted a TikTok video that went viral in our small town. "My mom's hotter than yours, and she knows it." "My dad? LOL, he fixes toilets." The comments were brutal. Half the town was laughing at the pathetic husband who couldn't keep his wife happy. The other half was speculating about Anna's glow-up and wondering who was responsible for it. I found myself at Ray's bar more often than usual. Ray Kowalski owned the only honest drinking establishment in town, a dive bar attached to a boxing gym that smelled like sweat, beer, and broken dreams. Ray had been my friend since high school, back when Anna was just the pretty girl who wouldn't give me the time of day. "You look like hell," Ray said, sliding a beer across the scarred wooden bar. "Feel worse?" "Anna?" I nodded. Ray had never liked my wife, thought she was too ambitious for a small town and too selfish for marriage. He'd been right, but I'd been too blinded by her smile to listen. "What are you going to do about it?" "What can I do?" "She's got me over a barrel. I leave, I lose the house, half my business, and probably Kayla. I stay, I'm a laughingstock." Ray leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. "You know what your problem is, Dave? You're still playing the good guy. Sometimes when someone's trying to destroy you, you gotta think like a villain." "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means stop being the victim. Start being the problem." I was still thinking about Ray's advice when Anna announced she was attending Kayla's school talent show. Alone. "I thought we'd go together," I said. "You thought wrong. This is important to Kayla, and I don't want you embarrassing us." Embarrassing them. Like I was the one sneaking around motel rooms and stealing clients. But I went anyway. Sat in the back row of the school auditorium, watching my daughter sing a song about independence and self-respect, while my wife texted on her phone in the front row. During intermission, I stepped outside for some air and saw Anna's BMW in the parking lot. She wasn't alone. Through the windshield, I could see Anna and Ethan going at it like teenagers at a drive-in movie. His hands were in her hair, her legs wrapped around his waist. They were so lost in each other, they didn't notice me walking up to the car. I knocked on the window. Anna jerked away from Ethan like she'd been electrocuted. Her lipstick was smeared, her hair disheveled. Ethan looked like he wanted to crawl under the dashboard. "Having car trouble again?" I asked when Anna rolled down the window. "David, this isn't what it looks like?" "Because it looks like you're screwing your trainer in the school parking lot while our daughter performs inside." Other parents were starting to notice the commotion. Anna's face went red, then white. "Get in your truck and go home," she hissed. "Or what? You'll tell everyone what a terrible husband I am? I think they're starting to figure out what kind of wife you are." Ethan finally found his voice. "Look, man, we can explain." "Shut up," Anna snapped at him. "David, we'll discuss this at home." "No, Anna. We'll discuss it right here, right now, in front of God and the PTA. I raised my voice just enough for the gathering crowd to hear. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Ethan Morrison, my wife's personal trainer." As you can see, he's very hands-on with his clients. Anna's face crumpled. "Please don't do this." "Do what? Tell the truth? I thought you'd appreciate that." "You've been so honest with me lately." Principal Williams approached, looking uncomfortable. "Is there a problem here?" "No problem," I said cheerfully. "Just meeting my wife's workout partner." "Did you know Anna's been getting private sessions?" "Very intensive. Really works up a sweat." Anna started crying, which should have made me feel guilty. Instead, I felt powerful. For the first time in months, I was the one in control. "We should all go back inside," Principal Williams suggested. "The second half is starting." "Good idea," I agreed. "Anna, aren't you coming? Kayla's next." She shook her head, tears streaming down her face. Ethan started his car without a word and drove away, leaving Anna alone in the parking lot with her humiliation. I went back inside and watched my daughter win first place in the talent show. She looked for Anna in the audience, confused when she couldn't find her. I waved from the back row, and Kayla smiled uncertainly. Later, at home, Anna was waiting for me in the kitchen. She'd fixed her makeup and pulled herself together, but her eyes were red-rimmed and furious. "You bastard," she said quietly. "Careful, honey. Kayla might hear you. How could you humiliate me like that?" "Humiliate you?" "Anna, you were making out with another man in public. I just provided commentary." She slammed her hand on the counter. "This is exactly why I—" She stopped herself. Why you what? Why you're cheating on me? Why you're stealing my clients? Why you're turning our daughter against me? You did this to yourself, David. You stopped trying. You stopped caring about anything except your stupid renovation projects and your pathetic little life. My pathetic little life that pays for this house, your car, and Kayla's private school? Money isn't everything. No, but apparently Ethan is. We stared at each other across the kitchen island, 18 years of marriage reduced to mutual contempt. I want a divorce, Anna said finally. Good. I'll make it easy for you. She looked surprised. What? I said I'll make it easy. You want out? Go. Take your trainer and your yoga friend and your new life. Just remember, I know things now. About your business practices, about your extracurricular activities, about your plans. What plans? I smiled. The ones you discussed with Jenna, about stringing me along until you figured out the finances. Anna's face went pale. You read my messages. I read everything. Every text, every photo, every nasty little comment about your pathetic husband. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? She was quiet for a long moment. What do you want? I want you to remember something, Anna. You made a bet with your friends that I wouldn't fight back, that I'd just take whatever you dished out because I was too weak to leave. David, you were wrong. I walked toward the stairs, then turned back. Oh, and Anna? You might want to call Ethan. I think he's having car trouble again. The look on her face was worth 18 years of marriage. The next morning, Anna's phone was buzzing with angry calls from Ethan. Apparently, his Tesla had been vandalized again, this time with sugar in the gas tank and home wrecker keyed into the paint. Anna accused me, of course, but I had an alibi. Ray's security cameras showed me at the bar until 2 in the morning, playing pool with half the local construction crew. What the cameras didn't show was me leaving through the back door at midnight. This has to stop, Anna said over breakfast, her voice strained. What has to stop? You know what? The harassment, the stalking, the vandalism. I looked up from my eggs. Anna, I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you saying someone's targeting your friend? Kayla glanced between us, sensing the tension but not understanding it. What's going on? Nothing, sweetheart, Anna said quickly. Just some trouble at work. Mom's boyfriend is having car problems, I added helpfully. Anna's fork clattered against her plate. He's not my boyfriend. He's my trainer. Right, sorry. Your trainer, who you kiss in parking lots. Kayla's eyes widened. Mom? Finish your breakfast, Anna snapped. You'll be late for school. After Kayla left, Anna turned on me. You're poisoning her against me. I'm telling her the truth. There's a difference. The truth according to you. The truth according to your text messages. Should I read them to her? I saved screenshots. Anna's face went white. You wouldn't. Try me. She stared at me for a long moment, then grabbed her purse and headed for the door. I'm staying at Jenna's tonight. Give her my regards. But Anna didn't go to Jenna's. According to Mrs. Patterson, who'd apparently appointed herself my personal surveillance team, Anna spent the day at a law office downtown. Divorce attorney, most likely. Good. Let her make the first move. It would make my counterattack that much more devastating. That afternoon, I got a call from Tom Bradley, Anna's boss at the real estate office. David, we need to talk. Tom and I went way back. He'd been Anna's boss for 5 years, and before that, he'd been her boyfriend. Anna claimed it was ancient history, but I'd always wondered. Tom was successful, divorced, and still carried a torch for my wife that was visible from space. What's on your mind, Tom? Anna came to see me today. She's upset about some personal issues, and she's worried about how it might affect her work. Personal issues. That was one way to put it. She asked me to talk to you, man to man. About what? About backing off. She says you're harassing her friend, stalking her, making threats. I laughed. Tom, did Anna tell you who this friend is? Some trainer from her gym? Did she tell you what kind of training he's been giving her? Tom's expression shifted. What do you mean? I mean your star employee has been using company time and resources to conduct an affair. I have photos, Tom, text messages, hotel receipts charged to her business credit card. The color drained from Tom's face. That's impossible. Is it? When's the last time Anna actually sold a house? Because according to her calendar, she's been showing a lot of properties that don't exist to clients who never signed contracts. I pulled out my phone and showed him some of Anna's messages. The ones where she bragged about using work emergencies to cover her affair. The ones where she laughed about Tom being too smitten to question her schedule. Tom read in silence, his jaw getting tighter with each message. Son of a bastard, he muttered. I'm not the one making trouble, Tom. I'm just the one who found out about it. He handed my phone back. What do you want? I want Anna to stop using your business as cover for her personal life. I want her to stop stealing my clients and feeding them to her boyfriend. And I want you to stop threatening me on her behalf. Tom nodded slowly. Anything else? Yeah. Fire her. David, she's been defrauding your company for months. You keep her on, and I'll make sure everyone in town knows about it. You fire her, and this stays between us. Tom was quiet for a long moment. She really played me, didn't she? She played all of us. The difference is I'm not playing anymore. That evening, Anna came home early, her face streaked with tears and mascara. She'd been fired, effective immediately. Tom had even demanded she return her company credit cards and car. You bastard, she said when she saw me. You destroyed my career. I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped covering for you. Tom won't even return my calls. Probably because he finally figured out what you really think of him. Did you know you called him a pathetic old fool in your messages to Jenna? Anna collapsed onto the couch, her perfect composure finally cracking. What do you want from me? I want you to admit what you've been doing. To me, to Kayla, to everyone. And if I don't, then I'll keep playing this game until you do. She looked up at me with pure hatred. This isn't you, David. You're not cruel. You're right. I'm not cruel, but I'm not stupid either. And I'm tired of being treated like I am. My phone buzzed with a text from Ray. Turn on Channel 7, you're gonna love this. I grabbed the remote and switched to the local news. The anchor was reading a story about a downtown business being investigated for insurance fraud. The camera panned across a familiar storefront, Jenna's yoga studio. Local business owner Jenna Walsh is facing questions about a recent break-in at her studio, the anchor continued. Police say the damage appears to be staged, and insurance investigators are looking into Walsh's claim for $30,000 in stolen equipment. Anna gasped. Oh my God. I kept watching. The report showed security footage from the night of the supposed break-in. There was Jenna, clear as day, smashing her own mirrors and dumping yoga mats in the dumpster behind her building. In related news, the anchor continued, Walsh's business partner, personal trainer Ethan Morrison, is also under investigation for operating an unlicensed construction business. Anna's face went white. How did they? Anonymous tip, I said. Someone sent the authorities information about unlicensed contractors stealing work from legitimate businesses. Amazing what people will do when they're concerned about fair competition. Anna stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. You're destroying everyone I care about. I'm not destroying anyone, Anna. I'm just helping the truth come to light. If your friends can't handle the truth, that's their problem. She stood up, swaying slightly. I need a drink. There's beer in the fridge. Or you could go to Ray's. I hear it's very popular with the construction crowd these days. Anna headed for the kitchen, but stopped at the doorway. This isn't over. Yes, it is. You just don't know it yet. That night, I lay in bed, listening to Anna cry herself to sleep in the guest room. I should have felt guilty. Instead, I felt alive for the first time in years. Ray had been right. Sometimes you have to think like a villain. The question was, how far was I willing to go? Anna's world was collapsing, and she was finally starting to understand that I wasn't the same man she'd married. The man she'd been counting on to quietly accept his humiliation while she rebuilt her life with someone else. Jenna's yoga studio closed permanently after the insurance fraud investigation. Ethan's construction business was shut down, and he was facing fines for operating without proper licenses. Tom Bradley had spread word through the real estate community about Anna's creative use of company resources, making her unemployable in her chosen field. But Anna wasn't going down without a fight. She hired Patricia Vance, the most expensive divorce attorney in the county. Patricia was known for her scorched-earth tactics and her ability to paint cheating wives as victims of emotional abuse. Anna was betting that she could convince a judge that my recent behavior proved I was unstable, maybe even dangerous. It might have worked if I hadn't been thinking 3 moves ahead. "She's claiming you've been stalking and harassing her," Ray said, reading over the legal papers Anna had served me. "Says you've been threatening her boyfriend and sabotaging her business relationships." "Prove it," I said. "That's not the point, Dave. She doesn't have to prove it. She just has to make it sound believable." I smiled. Let her try. The preliminary hearing was set for the following Monday. Anna was asking for a restraining order, temporary custody of Kayla, and exclusive use of the house. She wanted me out of my own life while she figured out how to profit from the wreckage of our marriage. But I had a surprise for her. Sunday night, I called Kayla into the living room. She'd been avoiding me since the school parking lot incident, spending most of her time at friends' houses or locked in her room. Anna had been working on her, painting me as the villain in their family drama. "We need to talk," I said. Kayla sat on the edge of the couch, ready to bolt. "If this is about Mom, it's about the truth. Your mother and I are getting divorced. You know that, but there are things you don't know, things you deserve to understand before you decide which parent to believe." I handed her my phone, open to Anna's text messages. "Read these." Kayla's expression changed as she scrolled through the conversations. The casual cruelty, the planning, the jokes about her pathetic father, the bets about how long they could string me along. "Mom wrote this?" she whispered. All of it. For months. Tears started streaming down Kayla's face. "She said you were trying to destroy her life." "I'm trying to save mine, and yours." Kayla looked up at me, her 17-year-old world suddenly a lot more complicated. "What happens now?" "Now, we find out what your mother is really made of." Monday morning, the courthouse was packed. Word had gotten around about the Bradley divorce, and half the town had shown up for the entertainment. Anna sat with her lawyer, looking composed and victimized. Perfect makeup, conservative dress, tissues ready for the waterworks. I sat alone. Ray had offered to come, but I wanted to handle this myself. Patricia Vance painted a picture of an abusive husband who'd snapped when his wife tried to improve herself. She described my stalking behavior, my harassment of Anna's friends, my threats against innocent people. "My client is afraid for her safety," Vance told the judge. "Mr. Bradley has become increasingly erratic and vindictive. He's destroyed her career, her friendships, and her sense of security. She's asking for protection from a man who's proven he'll stop at nothing to punish her for wanting a better life." It was a compelling performance. Anna even managed to cry on cue. Then it was my turn. I stood up and addressed the judge directly. "Your Honor, my wife is asking for protection from the consequences of her own actions. She's not a victim. She's a fraud." I presented the evidence methodically, the text messages showing Anna's affair and her plans to manipulate me financially. The business records showing how she'd stolen my clients and fed them to her boyfriend. The insurance fraud investigation that had exposed her best friend's criminal activities. This isn't about a woman trying to improve herself. I told the judge. This is about a woman who got caught destroying her family and her husband's business and now wants the court to help her finish the job. Anna's lawyer objected repeatedly, but the evidence spoke for itself. When I played the audio recording of Anna admitting she'd been stringing me along until she figured out the finances, the courtroom went silent. The judge reviewed the materials for what felt like hours. Finally, he looked up. Mrs. Bradley, I'm not seeing evidence of stalking or harassment. I'm seeing evidence of a husband who discovered his wife's infidelity and responded by exposing the truth. That's not illegal, and it's not grounds for a restraining order. Anna's face crumpled. Furthermore, the judge continued, the financial documents suggest that you've been using marital assets to conduct an extramarital affair while actively sabotaging your husband's business. That's going to be a significant factor in any property settlement. Patricia Vance tried to salvage the situation. Your Honor, my client was emotionally neglected. Your client was committing adultery and fraud, the judge interrupted. Petition denied. Anna was sobbing now, the careful composure completely shattered. As we left the courtroom, she grabbed my arm. This isn't over, she hissed. Yes, it is. But I was wrong. Anna had one more card to play, and it was the cruelest one of all. That afternoon, she picked up Kayla from school and disappeared. No note, no phone call, no forwarding address. Just gone. I called the police, but they said it wasn't kidnapping. Anna was Kayla's mother, and there was no custody order in place yet. I called Anna's phone, but it went straight to voicemail. I drove to every hotel, motel, and friend's house I could think of. Nothing. For 3 days, I didn't know where my daughter was, or if I'd ever see her again. Anna had found the one way to hurt me that I couldn't defend against. Then on Thursday morning, my phone rang. Dad? Kayla's voice was small, scared. Where are you? Are you okay? I'm fine. We're at some motel outside Albany. Mom's been drinking and crying and saying terrible things about you. What kind of things? She says you're going to destroy us, that you won't stop until we have nothing left. I closed my eyes. Kayla, I need you to listen to me. Your mother is scared and angry, and she's not thinking clearly, but I would never hurt you. You know that, right? I know. That's why I'm calling. Mom's passed out, and I took her phone. Dad, I want to come home. Where are you exactly? Kayla gave me the address. I was in my truck before she finished talking. The Sunset Motel was exactly the kind of place Anna would never have been caught in 6 months ago. Cheap, dirty, and desperate. I found them in room 118. Anna was unconscious on the bed, surrounded by empty wine bottles and crumpled tissues. Kayla was sitting in a chair by the window, still in her school clothes from 3 days ago. Hey, kiddo, I said softly. She flew into my arms, and I held her while she cried. Over her shoulder, I looked at Anna, my wife of 18 years, reduced to this. Part of me felt sorry for her, a very small part. Is Mom going to be okay? Kayla whispered. She's going to have to figure that out for herself. I helped Kayla pack her things while Anna slept off her latest bender. We left a note with the motel manager's number and drove home in silence. That night, as I tucked my daughter into her own bed for the first time in days, she looked up at me with Anna's eyes. Dad, are you really a villain like Mom says? I thought about it. 6 months ago, I would have said no. I was the good guy, the victim, the one who played by the rules while everyone else cheated. But that man was gone. The man who'd destroyed Anna's career, exposed her friends' crimes, and systematically dismantled the life she'd tried to build without me, that man was something else entirely. Maybe, I said, but sometimes the world needs a villain. Kayla smiled. Good. I was getting tired of everyone picking on us. Anna came home the next morning, sober and defeated. She didn't apologize for taking Kayla. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She just sat at the kitchen table and stared at the divorce papers her lawyer had drawn up. "I'll sign," she said quietly. "Smart choice. I get half the house. You get what the judge says you get. Given your recent behavior, I wouldn't count on half of anything." She looked up at me with something that might have been respect. "You really did it, didn't you? You destroyed everything." "I didn't destroy anything, Anna. I just stopped pretending it wasn't already broken." She signed the papers with a shaking hand. As she stood to leave, she turned back one last time. "You know what the funny thing is? I actually loved you once." "I know. I loved you too. That's what made this so easy." Anna walked out of our house for the last time, leaving behind 18 years of marriage and a daughter who'd finally seen her for what she really was. I should have felt victorious. Instead, I just felt tired. But it wasn't over yet. There was still one more move to make. The divorce was finalized on a Tuesday in October, exactly 1 year after I'd found Anna's secret phone. She got 20% of the house value, no alimony, and supervised visitation with Kayla every other weekend. The judge had not been impressed with her disappearing act or her continued attempts to paint herself as the victim. Anna moved into a studio apartment above the old hardware store, working part-time at a chain restaurant outside town. Ethan had left for Florida after his legal troubles, and Jenna was facing bankruptcy and possible jail time. Anna's support network had evaporated, leaving her exactly where she'd planned to leave me, alone and starting over. I should have been satisfied. I'd won. Anna had lost everything she'd valued: her career, her social status, her financial security, her daughter's respect. She'd bet that I was too weak to fight back, and she'd lost that bet spectacularly. But there was still one thing bothering me, one loose thread that needed to be tied up. The night before Thanksgiving, I drove to Anna's apartment. She was sitting on the fire escape, smoking a cigarette and staring at nothing. She'd lost weight, and her hair was shorter, cheaper. The woman who'd once spent $200 on a haircut was now cutting it herself. "What do you want, David?" "To ask you a question." She laughed bitterly. "Haven't you asked enough questions? Haven't you gotten enough answers? Just one more." I climbed up the fire escape and sat beside her. "Why?" "Why what?" "Why did you do it?" "The affair, the lies, the stealing. We had a good life. Not perfect, but good. Why did you throw it away?" Anna took a long drag on her cigarette. "You really want to know?" "I really want to know." She was quiet for a long moment. "Because I was bored. Because I was 40 years old and felt like my life was over. Because you looked at me like I was furniture, something comfortable and familiar that you didn't really see anymore. So you decided to destroy our marriage? I decided to feel alive again. The affair was supposed to be temporary. Just something to make me feel wanted, desired. But then, Jenna started talking about how I deserved better, how I could have a whole new life if I was smart about it. So it was Jenna's idea?" Anna nodded. "She said you'd never leave me. That you were too comfortable, too scared of being alone. She said I could have my cake and eat it too, keep the security of marriage while having fun on the side." "And you believed her?" "I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe I could have everything." She flicked her cigarette into the alley below. "Turns out I was wrong about you." "Yeah, you were." We sat in silence watching the empty street below. Finally, Anna spoke again. "I know you hate me. I don't hate you, Anna. I hate what you did. I hate what you turned me into." "What did I turn you into?" I thought about it. "Someone who wins." Anna laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Is this what winning feels like?" "I don't know. I've never won anything before." She looked at me with something that might have been pity. "You know what's funny? I thought I knew you. 18 years of marriage, and I thought I had you figured out. The nice guy who'd always forgive me, who'd always take me back. You did know me. That man really existed. What happened to him? You destroy him. Anna nodded slowly. I guess I did. I stood to leave. For what it's worth, Anna, I'm sorry it came to this. No, you're not. She was right. I wasn't sorry. Not really. Will you tell Kayla I love her? Tell her yourself. She's 17, not 7. She can make her own decisions about whether she wants to see you. She hates me. She hates what you did. There's a difference. I climbed down the fire escape, leaving Anna alone with her cigarettes and her regrets. The next day was Thanksgiving. Kayla and I ate dinner at Ray's bar, which was serving turkey and all the trimmings to anyone who didn't have anywhere else to go. It wasn't traditional, but neither were we anymore. Do you miss her? Kayla asked, picking at her mashed potatoes. Sometimes. I miss who she used to be, or who I thought she was. Do you think she'll ever change? I don't know. People can change, but they have to want to. Kayla nodded thoughtfully. I used to want to be like her. Beautiful, confident, successful. You are beautiful and confident, and you'll be successful at whatever you choose to do. But I don't want to be like her anymore. Good. Be like you. After dinner, we drove home through the quiet streets of our small town. The house felt different now. Smaller, maybe, but also more peaceful. The tension that had filled every room for months was finally gone. As we pulled into the driveway, Kayla asked, Dad, are you happy? I thought about it. Was I happy? I'd destroyed my marriage, exposed my wife's affair, ruined her career, and turned my daughter against her mother. I'd become the kind of man who thought 3 moves ahead and always struck back harder than he'd been hit. I'm not unhappy, I said finally. That's something, I guess. Yeah, that's something. That night, I sat in my workshop, surrounded by the tools and projects that had once been my escape from a failing marriage. Now they were just tools and projects. The marriage was over, the failure complete. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. You won. I hope it was worth it. Anna, probably drunk, definitely bitter. I typed back, it was, because it had been worth it. Not the winning, exactly, but the fighting back. For the first time in my adult life, I'd refused to be the victim. I'd refused to quietly accept someone else's version of my story. Anna had made a bet that I wouldn't leave her, that I'd take whatever she dished out because I was too weak or too comfortable to fight back. She'd been wrong about that, spectacularly wrong. But she'd been right about one thing. I had become someone else. The nice guy who'd married her 18 years ago was gone, replaced by someone harder, smarter, and infinitely more dangerous. Someone who knew that sometimes the only way to stop being the victim was to become the villain. I deleted Anna's text without responding and went to bed. Tomorrow was a new day, and I had a life to rebuild. My life, on my terms, with my rules. And if anyone else wanted to bet against me, they were welcome to try, or 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 welcome to try.